Welcome, my friends, to another painting with Harold, and we have an 11 by 14 canvas turned on landscape. Already got our thin, even coat of liquid white, and tonight, and this is by request, I'm going to do another mountain painting without using the knife. Excuse me. The painting that I did do, it got quite a few replies, and I've got a few messages about it. And one of the messages was to do one that don't have snow on it. And I guess I never really realized how intimidating the knife is to people, but I mean, I do understand it. It is very intimidating. So, like I've said, as often as I think about it, the reason I do this is to help people. So if that's what you want to see, then that's what we're going to do. I'm going to jump right in today, and I'm going to tell you my colors. I've got out a little titanium white, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, Van Dyke brown, dark sienna, sap green, cad yellow, Indian yellow, yellow ochre, and the evil bright red. And I'm going to use brushes today. I'm going to keep them all small. Fan brushes, 1-inch brushes, and then the other little brushes, the detail brushes, I'll call those out as I get to them. But with that said, we'll jump right into the painting. And the first one I'm going to use is a 1-inch brush. And I'm going to pull out just a little, very little of the phthalo blue, and get an even distribution of paint across the bristles. Don't want a lot of color in the sky today, just enough to know that we got some color up here. This painting it's just not gonna require a whole lot of sky and clouds. We'll add a couple clouds, but the star of this painting today is basically going to be the mountain without any snow on it. And all we're doing in the sky is just using our little crisscross strokes, little X strokes, to put us in the sky, about like so. And then we will pick up just a little bit more. Now, I'm going to add about a Tic Tac size of sap green into that blue this time. And we're going to come down here, and we're going to start pulling across. Now you can see that green mixing with our blue. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Pull it right across. Try to keep it as level as we can, because still water lays flat. And then across the bottom, we'll go ahead and close the bottom in. And we'll knock this color out of the brush. And very gently come up to the top and just lightly blend those brush strokes out. And then lightly down here, just blend across real lightly. And if that little light stays in the middle, it'll look like a little sheen of light coming across our water when we're done. Just like so. That's all we need for an effective little sky. And for our clouds today, what we'll do is pick us up another 1-inch brush, go right into the white, and tap it straight into the brush. And you can see I've loaded up the corner of the brush a little more than the whole brush. Because for these clouds, like I said, they don't have to be anything real fancy today. So we're just going to come in and just make our round circles with the corner of the knife. Just keep the brush moving. That's all we got to do. And just come back along the bottom and kind of work it to where that color, or to where that cloud, I'm sorry, to where that cloud gets a little flatter on the bottom. Then we'll come on this side and we'll do another one. Just keep the brush moving. Alright, and we'll pick us up a little more paint. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to come to the top of these clouds and we're just going to tap in just at the top. We're going to tap us in some more white. Just tap it in. Kind of like if you were doing trees or bushes. And that's because we want the top of them to be good and bright. About like so. And we'll knock that white out of our brush. By not having a lot of blue up there, it didn't pick up a lot of blue, and that's a good thing. Now, with just the corner of the brush, you want to come back in and just very lightly blend out the bottom and stay out of the top. Just stay out of the top. About like that. And then very lightly fluff it up, just like so. And then 2 hairs and some air. Just blend out those tap marks and those brush marks. And that's all we need as far as clouds in the sky today. And we'll dump that brush. Now, this is where we're going to start having us a little fun. We're going to pick us up a filbert brush. And if you don't know what a filbert brush is yet, it's the brush that has the rounded top. Okay? And with that, we're going right into some Van Dyke Brown. And that's the only color we need on our brush right now is Van Dyke Brown. And I'm putting the color on both sides of the brush. And I'm going to sneak in here between these clouds. And I'm going to come down just a little, straight down, like so. And then I'm going to come over from the side of that and pull straight down. Just like so. I'm coming down at an angle, and all I'm doing is pulling straight down. I hope the camera's picking this up. That's all I'm doing. And then from there, I'm going to drop down a little, coming straight down. And then I'm going to come out from that little line where I just come straight down at right here. I'm going to come out to the side here, and I'm going to make like a little what would you call that? An upside down V. And I'm going to bring it over, and I'm going to let that join right in. Just like so. And then pull this down, and then put another little hump in it, and come on down, just like so, just tapping the brush. Now I know that looks kind of crazy right now. I know it does. But we're going to work on it. I promise you. Alright, then we want to come out from this, and we want to pull straight down on this side, and we want to put us a little peak on that side, and then we want to come straight down, and we're going to drop down under this peak here, and we're going to put us another one here, just like so. That's all we need. Just like that. And that gives us an outline of our mountain here. We're just going to come up around this peak off up here, because we don't want it real sharp up there. And then we're going to come back in and just start pulling this color down. That's all we're going to do. Just pull it straight down. Straight down. We'll do the same over here. Just pull this color straight down. And we're still doing this with the filbert. We haven't changed brushes yet. And we'll come over here and pull this color straight down. Oh, we got us a little hair done wanted to jump up in here. I hate when that happens. Oh boy. Alright, rather than smear paint everywhere, we'll pick us up a little brush and just flick him out. Alright, well, just like so. And then we'll knock some of this paint out. Now, if you're not happy with the shape of your mountain right here, you don't have to do yours the way I'm doing this one. You can make your typical mountain however you normally do mountains. Just, make that shape. Just use the filbert to do it. Sometimes the shape of the mountain kind of dictates what else you got planned, and sometimes it don't really matter. And I think this is one of those times it don't really matter. I mean, we're not going for the Rocky Mountains or another type of mountain range that we're familiar with. We're just doing like a little random landscape painting that happens to have a mountain in it. And we just want to pull as much of this color out as you can. We still want to keep it brown. But now that color is in the fabric. And once it gets into that canvas fabric, it's there. I mean, it really is. All right, now I'm going to pick up just a little bit of white on that same brush. And I'm going to use that white to come in and lighten up some spots. This is not snow, by no means. This is not to do the highlights. This is not to make it look like it's got snow on it. This is just to lighten up some areas. Because I don't want it real dark everywhere. I want it to be, well, I just killed that peak. Well, it still looks like a mountain, so that's all we're going for. Now these are a little more time consuming because you don't just zip through them and throw some highlights on them. You actually have to sculpt these mountains. But in my opinion, that makes it a little more fun. It's more like painting sometimes than it is just picking up a knife now, going up there and putting white paint on it. All right, we threw with the filbert for a minute. Now, I have what's called an angled. And as far as the size, it's a number 4 angled brush. And if you can see it, it's got just an angle on it. And that's why they call it an angle brush. And with this angle brush, we're going to come in and I'm going to pick up just a very little bit of yellow ochre and just a little bit of dark sienna. And I'm going to mix them right on the brush. And I want to leave them kind of marbled. And we are going to sneak just a tidbit of white in that color. And we want these colors to be, like I said, we want them to be kind of marbled mixed. We don't want them mixed all the way completely up. Now this angle brush, it'll help you get in here in your peaks. And you can come in here and just touch. Okay, we don't have enough ochre in there yet. Let's get a little bit more ochre in that. We'll come back up. Just want to touch that color. Alright, that's not showing up on camera. So to get it to show, I'm going to add a little more white. I just do not want this to turn to snow. In fact, I won't let it turn to snow. Alright, let's try this. We'll come back up. Just want to touch, there we go. Now we got to just touch at random. Little spots here and there. Just touch. And this is like highlighting anything that you highlight. You don't want to kill all your dark. Y'all knew that was coming. Y'all knew that was coming somewhere, didn't you? Come back up to this peak now. And just at random, just touch it. Bring it down into the rest of the color. Just at random. That white didn't turn it to snow, so that's good. And then come up to your top peak, and we'll do the same thing here. I just want to touch it random. That's all we want. That's all we're doing. Is just touching it random. And we're just trying to leave some of that brown in to where we have some darkness in it. And just keep following those angles, because your mountain is angles. That's all it is. Just like so. And just keep doing that, working yourself down all the way till you get to the bottom. Just like so. And we'll come back up right in here, and we'll add us a little peak that comes over, about like so, just to give our mountain a little shape, about like so. Alright, then we will knock out that color out of our brush onto a dry napkin. Now, I have another brush here, and this is a sable brush. And as far as numbers, I want to say it's a number 4 also. But this thing has ultra soft bristles, and it is a natural hair brush. It's real soft. And what we're going to do is I'm going to come up here just very, very gently where those two colors meet. I'm going to start pulling that yellow ochre down just a little, just to kind of smooth it out. And I'm following the direction of my angles here. And I'm going to pull that color over the entire mountain, just barely touching that paint. I mean barely. In fact, if you were doing it, you'd be wondering if you were even touching it or not. And the only reason I know I'm touching it is because I see it moving. But just like that, very, very, very gently. Just barely touching. Following those angles. And I really hope the camera picks up what that's doing. Alright, now you see what I did right here? My mountain grew. But to fix that, we're going to come right outside of it. We're just going to go up above it a little and bring it right back down and over and just kind of round it off a little and fit him right down in to our mountain. And we'll come back up, get us a little color. We'll tap him in to make him match. Just like so. That's all we need to do. In fact, I'm going to put just a tick more brown on him because it's a little too shiny. I don't want it that shiny. Alright, then I'll pick my sable brush back up again and I'll pull that color down into him. About like so. That'll work. I really hope that camera is picking that effect up of what that pulling that down does. It gives that mountain almost a softness. Alright, now I'm cleaning my angle brush now. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to pick up a little white and we're going to pick up just a little bit of phthalo blue and mix those together. Get that baby blue color. Then we want to pick up just a little Van Dyke brown, and bring it into the color, and that's going to gray it down. Now, what you should end up with is like a gray blue, if that even makes sense. But it'll look like it won't look blue and it won't look brown. It'll be more of a grayish blue color. And that's going to be our shadow color. Now, if you have to, which we don't know yet, but if we have to, we'll go back and we'll do a little work on it. But you want to come up on that angle and just barely touch, working your way down. And I'm working on the outer edge first. Alright, we're going to fix that. We're going to go into just a little bit of alizarin crimson and mix into this color. And that'll add like a different, it'll give it a lavender kind of color, but not total lavender. But it'll liven it up a little. Alright, there we go. And we'll add just a little bit more of the phthalo blue. And maybe just a little bit more of the white. Alright, now let's go back up. Alright, for some reason, that color is not wanting to show on camera. Alright, I'm going to add a little bit more white, but we're not going to let it go to snow. We won't let that happen. If it tries, we'll stop what we're doing. Alright. Alright, that's showing up a little bit. I just ain't tickled with it yet. Alright. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Just want to touch here and there. Yeah, that's got that gray look to it. That's what we're after. Just randomly touch And just like we did on the other side, we don't want to kill all our dark. We just want to come up here and just randomly touch outside of our yellow ochre color that we did. We want to follow that angle down, because you have to follow your angles in your mountain, because if you don't, it's not going to look right. So keep that angle. Alright, I'll pick us up a little more paint here. And that's all we're doing. That's all there is to it. This is not hard, it's just tedious. Coming in here with these different little brushes. But when you have trouble with that knife and you need another way of doing it, this is the way to do it. And it works. All right, you can sneak into a couple places over here where you had some dark, and you can add you just a little shadow. But just like that, we are ready to clean that angled brush again. And we're going to take our little sable brush now, and I'm going to follow. You can see your division in the mountain, and I'm going to follow that division first. And I'm just going to lightly tap along that division line. Just lightly tap to where it makes those colors kind of lay within each other. It'll just kind of make them lay down together and form one continuous flow right there. And then I'm going to take the brush and just very lightly again, just like we did on the other side, just very lightly pull this color down. Just very lightly. And what we end up with right there is a mountain that's not, it's not overwhelming, but it is still effective. We'll come in now with just a little of the phthalo blue on this knife by itself. I mean, on the knife. That's the reason we're doing this, so we don't have to use the knife. On this brush. And this is raw phthalo blue. This is no other color. And we're going to come right in, and we're going to just touch in a couple different places here. That's all we're doing. And we're going to clean this brush. And you can see all I did was just put some phthalo blue up there by itself. And now with this brush good and clean, we're going to come back. I'm going to start just very lightly tapping until it starts to try to disappear. And it will. It'll completely disappear. If you can see that. Just lightly tapping is all I'm doing. But now I'm leaving that impression of the color in there. I'm not pulling it out. I'm just leaving it right in there. Then you'll get a little bit of it on your brush as you tap it out, and you can go to different places. And you can move it around on there. Then we'll come back into our light color that we made over here. And we'll bring it up. And just barely touch it in a couple places. And what that'll do is, by putting that dark blue on that we added first, it'll give us a foundation. All right, then come in and just barely move that color. About like so. And that gives us our mountain and our shadow. And that's basically how easy it is to do a mountain with no knife. It's just that easy. And if you see a couple spots that you need to go back over with your highlight color, well, just pick it up and just barely touch. One of the things I do like about doing them with brushes like this is you don't have to worry about that making it look like you put frosting on a cake. Because with these brushes you can be so gentle with it that just by tapping somewhere you can tap out a color. And that's what I like. But just like that, we have us a mountain that we didn't have to pick up a knife for, and it does not have snow on it. It's basically a summertime mountain. Now I will come in at the bottom, because we always got to add that little layer of mist down at the bottom. I will put a little white on the brush for that. So we'll clean us one of these 1-inch brushes right quick. Now we could stop the painting right here and say that we done a mountain without a knife, but what kind of fun would that be? Alright, I'm going to load just a little bit of white on a brush. I'm going to come up and tap just the bottom, following our angles, all the way around, follow the angles. That's all we got to do. Alright, and knock that color out. And then very lightly come in and pull that color up. Remembering to follow the angles. And then very gently rub out the bottom. And that just sets our little mountain right down into some mist. Just like so. Now, what kind of foreground and middle ground do you want in this? Well, I'm going to say that this mountain kind of makes it more of summertime for us than anything. So with that being said, we got to figure out what kind of trees we want along the bottom there. All right, let's do this. Let's pick us up some Van Dyke Brown on our brush. We'll tap it in. And let's add a little sap green to that color. We'll brush mix them. And we'll come across. Let's start right here. And we'll come across. We want to leave it. We want to leave our mist where we can see it. That's going to act as our separator. Just like so. We'll bring that color all the way over to here. And we'll come back across here. And we'll give it a little body. Everybody likes a little body. Just like so. All I'm doing is just lightly tapping here. Nothing fancy. Just lightly tapping. We're going to come up here and pull straight up. Just a little flick straight up. And this is going to give us thousands and thousands of little trees across here. And we'll put a little bit more color on our brush. And we'll come at the bottom over here. And we'll pull straight down. Just like so. Just pull straight down. Straight down. Just like so. And very gently come across that color. And it'll give us instant reflections here. Alright, that's kind of running up the hill. We got to remember that when we get over there. Remember that little change in the bank, which won't be a big deal. We got a tree going in over there, I'm sure. Alright, now let's pick us up a little more of the Van Dyke Brown. This time we'll throw us in a little of the blue, and we'll throw us in a little more of the green, because we are getting a little closer to us now. So we want to change in color, and just like that, we'll come up here. We'll give ourselves a little heel. We'll come across and down, about like so. And fill this color in. Just like so. Alright, I'm not a fortune teller, But I see a big tree coming in here. So, and maybe some bushes going across the bottom. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and do that now. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that right now. No, let's don't do that right now. First, we want to, now since we're not using a knife in this painting, we're going to have to do our water line with a script liner brush. And we dumped it just a little thinner, added a little thinner on it. And I took and rolled that tip in the white. And we're going to come up here. And just like if we were doing it with a knife, we want it to stay straight. So just follow your line across there. And just keep it as straight as you can. That is the key. Now the further you go, the more brown it's going to pick up. And that's okay because that is kind of far back. So it does not have to be a real bright line. Just like so. We have our water line. And we can come out here and add us a couple ripples just by pulling some straight lines across. Like we have a little breeze blowing across the lake today. Just like so. Alright, then right here we'll come down with our shadows. Well, first let's pick us up some trees first. Alright, just like so. We want to have some little trees out here. Just like so. That'll give us the illusion of thousands more little trees. Then we'll come in here and pull down, straight down. That's all we want to do. Just pull straight down. Now it's not really going to matter too much back here because like I said, we have a big tree coming in. But what we want to do is we want to go ahead and pull it down. That way it's keeping us in line. We don't want to get out of whack here. About like so. Alright, we'll go ahead and get us a little more thinner. Come back into our white. And then following our line again. We want to come straight across. Just like so. My hand was shaking. I could have threaded the sewing machine with it running. I don't know why it's shaking so bad tonight. Okay. Just like so. And we can come in here and add us a few more little ripples. And you know, right now it's one of them times that I wonder, you know, we was so concerned with leaving that little spot in the middle so it looked like a sheen of light. Well, we don't we don't even need that sheen of light now. It's completely gone, and we don't even worry about it now. So, but anyway, all right, same colors that we just used. That was a little phthalo blue, little Van Dyke brown, little sap green. We're gonna load that 1-inch brush and tap in pretty good. All right, and we will start out at the bottom here, and we'll work ourselves up the heel. What we're looking for here is a little tree shape. Not like so. That's all we're looking for. And we want to bring this tree shape over. About like so. I'll tell you what, yeah, we'll do that. We'll go ahead and close it all the way off. Down here at the bottom. We'll bring us a little tree right up here, right to the bottom of our water line over there. About like so, that's all we need. Alright, and we will knock a good bit of that color out of our brush. And drop it in the thinner. And let's see, what did I do with my script liner? Lord, y'all ain't gonna believe I done lost my script liner. And that's messed up because I hadn't got it from this position. Alright, anyway, we're going to get another script liner. And we're going to go right into the same color we was just using. We'll get it good and wet. Roll it around in that paint. We'll come right up here. We'll add us a nice little tree limb. Give him some arms. We'll come over here and give him some arms and a nice little trunk. And we'll come through here and just pop us up some random little trunks. About like so. And we will wash the script liner for now. And hopefully I don't lose this one. I cannot believe I lost that brush. Wow. Undoubtedly I dropped it in the floor and didn't see it. I had to have, which means I'll have white paint all in the floor. Oh well. Alright, now I'm going to pick up the little 1-inch oval brush, and I'm going to dip it right into the thinner and knock a lot of it out because it don't take a lot for this. I'm going to go right into the cad yellow, pull it out, and then right into the sap green, just a little, just enough to turn it a greenish yellow. Alright, now we said that with having that brown mountain, or that rust colored mountain like it, that this was more than likely going to be a summertime. And with that being said, we'll try to stay more to the summertime colors here. Alright, we'll come up and just add us a few highlights here and there with that green and yellow color. And I bet you can't nobody guess what I'm about to say. Don't kill all the darks. Just like that. Just like that. I'll bring that color down. Alright. We'll come in here and get us a little bit of the ochre now. And that'll give us just a little bit more duller. Is that a word? A little more duller. It'll give us a duller greenish yellow color, which is what we need to do. You always want to try to get you a difference in color here, because those differences in color is what keeps you from creating a tangent. You don't want your colors blended together to where you can't tell one from the other. It'll make the eye get real confusing real quick. You'll look at it and you'll say, something just don't look right here. And it is so hard. Now, it can be done. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it can't be done. But it's so hard to go back once you kill all the dark. It's so hard to go back and add dark back in. Because when you go to highlighting, you really want your highlight to be kind of your last color. So you want it kind of thin. So to thin down some dark to go back in there, it can get pretty difficult. Alright. I'm going to pick up just a little bit of red. Just a very little. And I'm going to come in here now. And see with that yellow ochre, that red kind of took on that peachy color. And that peachy color is not really, in my opinion, it's not really a fall color. It can be a summer or springtime color. And I'll pick up a little blue and a little white. We'll come in here and just make us a little weird color. But something that still looks kind of summer or springy. We'll add a little more blue to it now. Just a little. Then we'll come over here to the side, and that blue will get a little more attention over here, just like so. Now this time we'll add a little red to it. And you know what we're going to get if we mix red and blue together. We're going to pick up that lavender color. And we'll put a little white with that to bring it to life. About like so. Now, anytime you're doing a painting, whatever colors you want to use for your highlights, that's entirely your decision. You do not have to use the same colors I'm using. These are just colors that I'm choosing, colors that I like. And if you like other colors, hey, it's your world. So by all means, go with your colors. I just don't want to make you think you have to mix colors the same colors I'm using, because that's not the case. You do not have to do that. And I feel like y'all know that. I mean, I feel like I've said that in a previous painting. You know, Bob Ross was a lot of people's mentor, and a lot of people watched Bob growing up. I did. I watched him growing up, and a lot of his sayings and his statements, they ring true in today's world. I mean, he'd always say, "This is your world," and he wasn't lying. I mean, this is your world. When you get involved in this and you sit down to a painting and you begin to paint it, you creating your own little world here. And it's to me, that's the whole attraction to it. Just seeing what the eye can do next. Because there's no doubt in my mind, God was an artist. I mean, I've been outside and on certain days, and I've seen colors that I can't duplicate the colors. I mean, it's amazing at the colors you can see in nature. All right, I'm gonna knock a little color out of this brush right now, because this next color I make, in my opinion, it should just make the whole little painting stand right out. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a little white over here and a little red, and I'm going to mix them together, and I'm going to make a pink. Yeah, that's what I said, pink. And I want it to be a hot pink. I want it to be a real pretty pink. And I'm going to finish this painting out right here with that pink color to kind of make it look like that we may have us a little wild cherry tree growing in our world. Just like so. Just like so. Just a whole different color altogether. Alright. And then I will go back, pick up my script liner, and I will bring that script liner right into my red. Get it good and thin. Roll me some red on there. And I'll come over here in this corner and I will add me an H. Like so. And I will call that finished. And I really hope y'all enjoy this painting. It's not a real hard painting to do. The only difference is up here in the mountain, you know, it's just a little tedious when you don't. I shouldn't say tedious because that's not really hard. It's just a little time consuming, making the brush strokes and all. But even at that, it's not hard. So, oh goodness, I don't know what I did with that brush. I gotta find that. Thank y'all for joining me. Really hope you enjoyed it. I love you all. God loves you more. Have a very blessed night. Like and subscribe, share. You know, get me out there in the world, and because I need to get in that YouTube algorithm so these videos can get seen. Oh, what else? If there's something you'd like to see me do, send me a message. You can find me. A lot of people are finding me on Facebook. Harold Weeks on Facebook. It's I'm not hard to find. What else? And I feel like there was something I wanted to tell y'all, but I keep forgetting. Well, with that said, that means my mind's getting older. So, all right, guys, y'all have a blessed night. Thank you for joining me. Give this one a try. It's a fun little painting to do. See you next time.